Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Gameside with Christopher James. That's me. I'm Christopher James. How y'all doing, man? Welcome. Great to see you. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Oh, man, we got all kinds of good stuff to talk about tonight. Hope y'all are getting your stimulus checks in your direct deposit. I haven't gotten mine. I'm a DJ in a nudie bar, so I might not even be getting one according to the hidden law. But that's all right, because I'm out delivering groceries at Ship. I'm making money, and I'm making a difference in my community, and it's cool. We still got a roof over our head, food in our belly, and God willing, and the creek don't rise tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and do it all over again. But we'll talk about all that later. Right now, man, it's time to bring in somebody I love to talk to, man. He's all kinds of fun. This guy's been, when you think about it, this man has been in the limelight since college, since he was like 18, because he played at the University of Alabama, and that's a star-studded program. If you at Alabama, you on TV, you doing all the big things. So when he got to the UFC, the bright lights and everything, that don't faze him. He done did that shit already. He is coming on right now. He's a UFC star. Like I said, all kinds of fun. We're going to welcome him back to the show. Here he is, boys and girls. Your boy, Eryk Anders. What's up, baby?
What's going on, player? You doing all right?
Oh, I'm living the dream, man. Same shit, smaller shovel, and we just keep on chugging. So
that's right.
So I'm going to start with the same question I've been asking all my guests since all this happened. I want you to tell us a day in the life of Eryk Anders, post-corona or pre-coronavirus, and then I want you to tell us a day in the life of Eryk Anders during the coronavirus.
Before coronavirus, I was training from like 6 or 7 in the morning till 12 noon. Come home, eat lunch, take a nap. Pick the boys up from the bus stop, do homework, play a little Fortnite, play games, be a dad for a few hours. Then,
Hold on. Who wins at Fortnite? You or the kids?
Oh man, they smoked me, man. They smoked me. I can't keep up with this younger generation with the building and stuff. But if they want to take it back to like, the old school Street Fighter games and like Mario Kart and Nintendo 64 games, and they're not trying to see me in that. But then I'll go back and train for another 2 or 3 hours at night, and they're usually asleep by the time I get home. So, but since coronavirus, man, we have nothing but all day together. I've still been training. We kind of sneak into the gym and get some work in. Probably just like 1 or 2 training sessions a day instead of 4 or 5. Do a lot more conditioning just because, I can only control what I can control, man. If we have to like sneak into the gym and train and stuff, we can only do it during certain times. So, I do a little bit more conditioning, a lot more running, and, just trying to keep my weight down because although I'm not fighting May 9th, man, I have a feeling that once this thing gets up and running, Dana White's going to pull a Julius Caesar stunt and just have like a whole month of MMA fights every day for 30 days kind of thing, I
can't freaking wait.
Just to celebrate it coming back. So I have to assume that since I was supposed to fight April 11th, it got canceled. I'm going to be first up, one of the first people up once this thing gets rolling.
Yeah, and it's funny. I don't know if we'll get 30 fights, in 30 days.
Yeah, no exaggeration. I know a lot goes into it.
It'll probably be 27 in 30 days. No, I'm just
something
kidding.
Like that.
But
yeah.
Honestly, I had an idea prior to the announcement of 249, and then again this May 9th fund, which will be called 249 or 250. They haven't really put a number designation on it yet. But I said instead of trying to put together full fight cards right now, put together 6 fight cards. 6 fights on a card. And that way you could spread them out and do one every week, maybe even 2, on a, like a Wednesday night fight and then a Saturday night fight. But you split it up this way. You don't have a lot of people in the building. It's a good compliance to keep the social distancing as best you can. Obviously, the guys fighting and the referee are going to be a little closer, but keeping less fighters around, which means less coaches. You can have a skeleton crew for the production and the members of the commission and the minimal UFC staff needed. And then you just do it every week. Now in Florida, I said they should do it at the WWE Performance Center, because that building is like the Apex. It's set for TV production. It's got all the studios, got everything they need.
Really?
All they got to do is plug into a truck. I mean, WWE, Monday nights, Friday nights, they're doing Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown live from that building every single week.
Where is it at? What city?
Orlando.
Really?
So it's a perfect place to do it. However, that's going to have to be worked out with Dana and Vince, and those guys are the same kind of businessmen.
Man, they
love
like
to
money,
do
man.
shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but there's a rumor going around, and the rumor is that this event is going to take place right here in my backyard in Tampa, Florida. I don't know why. The only venue I can think of here that makes sense, and it's closed down, so they would have to open it up for the event, but is the Hard Rock Casino, because you don't have a crowd, so you don't need a big venue. You need enough room for a cage and people to be around the cage that have to be there, doctors, medical personnel, all that stuff,
Sure.
member of the commission. But the cool thing about renting out the hotel, since it's not open anyway and they're not generating any revenue, is it could be a self-contained safe haven for the fighters, because the fighters can check into the hotel on fight week and they don't leave the hotel till they're getting on a plane or getting in their car to drive back home, because I'd say about 60% of this card, the fighters are all based in Florida. So it really leans to the rumor. So they can do it in Tampa at the Hard Rock. They got enough, ballroom space in there to do it, and venue space where they host concerts. All the fighters would have their own room, and there's so many rooms there. Y'all be spread all out, there's nobody going to be interacting. They got all the restaurants in there. They could even bring in the UFC Performance Institute guys that are chefs, that help with the food to make sure y'all are getting the right food. You don't need to go anywhere. They got a pool, they got a gym, they got everything you need to, fight week. And that way you're not out in the public. Nobody's coming in from the outside unless they have to be there. And you guys become, again, protected in a bubble, somewhat to speak, So that's the rumor. Not that venue. That's my idea. I don't know where they're going to hold it in Tampa, but that's the only one that makes sense. Like you said, you were supposed to fight April 11th. My boy Phil Rowe was supposed to fight April 11th up in Portland. Again, Florida, and he's another Florida guy. There's a lot of Florida guys. And you're not far away. You're in Alabama. You don't even got to get on a plane.
I'll make the drive. I ain't worried about it.
I know you ain't
on a plane. Nothing.
Under normal circumstances, fuck that. Eryk Anders, your boy, gets on the plane. He better be getting some first-class flights, too, by the way.
No,
Dana, if you're listening.
We ain't first-class shit, man. But, hopefully by the end, I hope to fight 3 times this year. So,
listen, when you work out your next contract, get that stipulation put in there. So, look, I need to fly first class. My coaches, whatever, they can fly and coach because they coaches. So they fly and coach. But your boy's got to be pampered. I think all you guys should put that in your contract. I mean, you put your asses on the line. It's the least they could do. That's just my opinion.
Man, it's sometimes it's the flight back that you need that first class comfort, man. So maybe your leg got chopped out from underneath you, sore. You just need a little extra room to relax, especially on the long flights back from Brazil or England or whatever, man. Yeah,
your face cut up or something. You don't want people bothering you. You want to sit up in first class where people kind of go, leave me alone,
I just need to be able to stretch out, man. I just be a little sore, a little stiff the next day sometimes.
All right, so, but normally you'd be on a plane, but you would drive down, obviously, for the show. So let me ask you first, and I already know the answer, but I want you to say it because I want people to hear it because, people don't believe it. You're a fighter. Okay, nobody's going to twist your arm. Nobody's going to force you. The UFC hasn't threatened you that if you don't fight, they're going to cut you. This choice to fight will be made by Eryk Anders after discussing it with his team and Jason House at Iridium to make sure it's the right move for Eryk Anders. Not because of the corona, because it's the right move to, continue to move your career vertical. If they're going to give you some ratchet guy, obviously, you don't want to take you're not looking to fight a guy who's making his debut is what I'm saying. So if they offered you that fight, what I mean.
But I'm supposed to fight Christoph Jocko. He trains right there in Florida at ATT, so they're finna open the door. So I know he'll be, back training, full steam ahead,
Oh, I wasn't speaking of him when I said that. I wasn't speaking about him. I'm just saying if they called you up and said, "Hey, Eryk, listen, we got this guy, we're going to give him a debut. We figure, what the hell." I know you take it because, obviously the odds of you winning at that point are great.
That check cleared just the same.
Yep. But at the same time, it doesn't do anything for your career. You know, and obviously you want to move up. You know, you're not trying to stay down here and be the barometer for a new guy coming in. Right now, you're still working your way up, and that's what I'm saying. And I know you'd still take the fight because at the end of the day, you said paycheck still clears whether I'm fighting a top 10 or I'm fighting a top 100. You know, he's number 99. Yeah. You know, so. But do you think? And like I said, you're going to make that decision when you talk with your family or management. But other than really a stupid kind of opponent, Eryk Anders would take a fight because Eryk Anders is a fighter and wants to fight, and there's no pressure on him to fight if he chooses not to.
Yeah, man, we're just waiting on the phone call with the date and an opponent. You know, I have to believe it still be Krzysztof Jotko though, just because, man, this is like the third contract he signed. Or, you know, the next whenever we can, you know, it'd be like the third contract that we both signed to fight each other in. He's down there in Florida, so they're going to open up the gates and let him train as much as he wants to and as hard as he wants to. So. You know, I also be up here ducking the law and training under the cover of night and whatnot. But it doesn't matter to me. You know, it's just like another. It's just gonna make victory that much more sweeter.
Ducking the law.
Yeah. But we got snitched on this past Saturday.
Shut the fuck up, for real.
Yeah. We were in there training. You know, because
that's like not even cool, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, man. And we were training, man. The lady came, stuck her face all on the door, and you know, I knew what she was doing because as soon as she turned around, she had her phone out, and I could see like the numbers on her phone. So, but then 10 minutes later, the law came up. He was like, "Hey, I don't even want to be doing this." Blah blah blah. Told us we had to go, but you know how we do. As soon as he left, you know, we all cut the lights back on and finished our training session. So, you know, whatever. You know, we're screaming F the police right now.
I agree, man. You know, and you know what? It sucks that you have to do it like that. That you have to kind of be a little, you know, you're not even doing anything wrong. You're not really doing anything underhanded. But it almost feels like you have to be sneaky, like just to try to get some work in. I mean, the other night I was out till 10:30, and the curfew last week was 10 o'clock. Now it's 9 o'clock, but I was out till like 10:30 because I had a shift to do something. And I'm coming home, and I'm like, it's 10:15. I'm like, man, I'm such a fucking lawbreaker right now, man. And I was singing in my car, fuck the police. And I was bouncing. Yeah. There was no music on, but I was bouncing anyway. I was just popping it. And I was like, I feel so stupid because I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, whether you deem my profession essential or not, the shit's going to happen. And as soon as they say we can, they're going to be calling people to fight. And so it's not like I can just show up. It's not like, oh, you know, I can pick up right where I left off before all this happened. Man, I have to get in shape. I have to get timing. I have to spar. I have to, you know, do these things that require me being in a gym and around other people. So, you know, fuck it.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way it should be. You know, I mean, up in Michigan today, the citizens in Michigan were rioting. They were actually, you know, surrounding the Capitol building. They want to get back to work. They want to be able to live their lives. You know, I don't know how political you are. And typically, I don't talk about politics on my show with anybody but what we're experiencing right now, and I'm just gonna have this one little political kind of sort of little rant. What we're experiencing right now is a small degree of what socialism would be like in the United States of America. Having to wait in line to get in your grocery store, having to be told when you can and can't do this, that, and the other. Being told you can only get 1 dozen eggs, being only told you can't get any toilet paper today. We're sorry, you bet your damn luck. Or if you can get it, you can get 1 package. You know, you can get 1 gallon of milk. Yeah, I mean, all these things that we're going through right now. This is what happens with socialism. Yeah. So, for the sake of our nation, and Democrat or Republican is different than socialist. There's some Democratic socialists that they want us to live like this because then we're dependent on them. And I've talked to a lot of people on both sides of the fence, Democrats and Republicans, and the consensus pretty much agrees. Nobody wants to live like we're living right now. I don't want to wait in line to go get bread. I don't want to wait in line to get toilet paper. I don't want to be told I can't go out after 9 o'clock at night. I am 51 years old and I work my whole motherfucking life. I pay my taxes. I work hard. And I want to go out at 9 o'clock at night. I want to go back to the drive-in movie at 10 o'clock, watch a movie with my wife sitting in the car, you know, getting baked and fucking eating some popcorn. You know,
America's not going to let that happen.
I want to live, but this is what this is what Bernie Sanders wanted, and this is why Bernie Sanders pulled out, because people started rioting about this shit. And he saw the writing on the wall. He goes, you know what, man? They ain't ready for this. So he pulled out. Smartest thing he ever did. But
his shit's silly anyways, man.
Yeah.
I just look at like how much they're trying to tax and how they're gonna affect my money is what I look at when I look at like presidential candidates and whatnot.
Yeah.
And man, he's trying to tax, people
He
who
wants
make
to take
a little
your
bit of
money,
bread, super heavy dogs.
He wants to take my money and your money and pay for some motherfucker's kid to go to college.
Yeah.
And the motherfucker who don't have a job because he's too busy living off the government titty. I can't. I won't. I will move to Canada. I will move to Thailand. I will move to the Philippines, and I will leave, because if that's how it's going to be, I didn't sign up for that. But in California today, the same dick, Governor Gavin Newsom, who shut down, by calling Disney to get Disney to shut down UFC 249, which was going to be on an Indian reservation, so they have no jurisdiction there in the first fucking place. And that's
why he went above and beyond.
Tashi Palace should sue the governor and the state of California for interfering with their right to make revenue. And I guarantee you there's a lawyer out there who's waiting to chew this governor up. But this same asshole who stopped your fellow fighters from making an income now is enacting another piece of law and stimulus in California, $125 million to give immigrants, illegal aliens, people that are here illegally, to give them a stimulus check. I work in a nudie bar, and I am not eligible for a stimulus check in my own country where I pay taxes. And now these fucking people are going to get, that guy needs to be put out to pasture. Somebody needs to take him out. And let's get California back. Let's get California back as an American state, because right now we have 49 states and the aberration called California, as far as I'm concerned. Whew, rant over.
Yeah,
so
that's wild. I didn't know that.
But it's crazy, and these are the things that are going on in America. But anyway, we're going to jump off that because politics. So you want to fight. You're ready to go. Dana White, I want your opinion, because I've been asking every fighter who's been on the show. Dana White's been busting his fucking ass to get a fight up for you guys because he wants you guys to work. Obviously, the company wants to work, and it's time. So tell me your thoughts on, and this motherfucker's going to buy an island, and put fights on. Tell me what it is, what it means to you when you really sit back and think, when you're alone by yourself and you sit back and you think about Dana White and working with such a gangster. That's just what he is. He is a straight G. He don't take no shit. I'm surprised that Disney hasn't figured out a way to boot him yet because he's that much of a gangster. But what does that mean to you?
Money.
What does that mean to you?
Man, that's real boss shit, that guy's saying, I don't care about the rules, regulations, law, nothing. If I can make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. He's doing everything he can to make it happen. And, man, I just I think that's some like gangster shit. Okay, so we'll go put it on the Indian reservation where you have no jurisdiction. Okay, so he calls the law or Disney on Dana White. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I got this island that I'm hooking up. And by the way, Florida, I don't think Florida even ever cared about the coronavirus because they cancel school, they cancel spring break. What does Florida people do? Go straight to the beach, kick it, party.
But they shut that. They did shut that down. I mean, there's nobody out there doing that right now, and I understand that. But the state of Florida Boxing Commission, I've been in contact with people that are around the commission and work with the commission from jump. They've stated, and that's what I was telling you about. Off the air, I reported this story a month ago that we were still open for business here in Florida. As long as you can find a venue, come to Florida, we got you. And I've been telling everybody, and now ESPN and all these other news outlets pick up on it. But I've known about this for a month. I've been telling people, I've got articles and podcasts to back up what I'm saying. So Florida was actually going to be the backup plan if Tashi Palace didn't work out, not because of the government interference, but they said no. Then they were coming to Florida. It was already done. Like I said, there was conversations between the state and the UFC multiple times, making sure that Florida was ready to go. But they are, and a fight is going to be happening here. It looks like May 9th in Tampa, apparently. But we'll see. And I know you, like you said, you'll drive down here for that card or the next card the week after, because I think wherever this next fight takes place, the next 4 weekends in a row, like you said, there will be a fight. There will be a fight going on. It'll be in that same venue. And hopefully the plan is that by the end of May, Las Vegas will open back up or in the middle of May, probably the end of May, and that Dana White will then move all fights to the Apex, and all the fighters will end up staying at the hotel right by the Apex, and everything will be carefully done. COVID testing, having your temperatures taken when you enter the building, everything will be done to ensure the safety of the athletes, because without the athletes, the UFC is just 3 letters. So they need you guys, and they're going to protect you. And I know that you've been around the UFC long enough now to know Dana White gets a bad rap in public, but Dana White, if nothing else is true about that man, he does give a shit about the fighters. Even when he talks shit about them because he's pissed off, he still cares about all of you.
Yeah, and he understands that if we don't fight, we don't make money. But at the end of the day, the UFC don't make no money neither. So I don't know if he's doing it for us. If I think it's just a huge flex, and just what a boss he is. He gonna make it happen. Everybody's gonna fight. Everybody gonna make money, including himself. So I think that at the end of the day, that's what's gonna make the world go around. Is we got to make this bread, and it brings money. Even if there are no fans and stuff, and people aren't traveling to see the fight, the UFC still brings money to places. People have the hotel people and whatnot, and so everybody want to make money. So Dana White gonna find a way to make that bread.
You see that on the screen right there?
Yeah. Max Griffin was good.
Max Payne watching the show. He's a frequent guest of the show. I love Max. Max is good people. So he said, my man Eryk, and then he went from that to, what it do?
Ain't nothing to it, man. Just cooling.
Oh, we just cooling, man. You know who sings that song, Just Cooling?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, man. You know who Levert is? Nah, you're a little young. All right, when you get off the show tonight, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to remind you, look up Levert and a song called "It's Coolin'." I'll send you the YouTube link. I'll send it to you, dude. You'll be like, people got down to this shit. Yeah, people got down to that shit, man.
Let's see.
So, like you said, you're trying to get your workouts in. You're trying to do what you can to stay in shape and stay ready. And we all just having a good time. What's it like, getting all this extra time with your boys? What are you doing with them? I know they're at home. Yeah, we were talking a little bit off the air about school and all this stuff. So tell us how that's going. As Eryk Anders, school teacher.
Oh, I'm not the school teacher, man. Believe that. My wife, I help out, man, because she teaches Portuguese classes in the morning online and stuff. So I'm sure you can imagine it's a pain in the ass to be trying to teach and help direct and correct math problems and whatnot. So man, I do help, but she's kind of superwoman and I'm just an assistant. So man, first thing we do, get up in the morning and the boys knock out their homework and they're free for the rest of the day, man. They can go outside and play. We have a punching bag that they tear up. They're on the video game a pretty good bit. So man, we find a way to occupy. We do a lot of family stuff together too, whenever we get a chance. So, what kind of family stuff? Doing, man, we started because, the boys, they're two little hyper little boys, man, 8 and 10. So, we started going to the park, playing soccer, nice. Daily, going to walking trails, letting them get out, run, exercise, and let them blow off some steam. Because mom and dad need a break too, man. These kids, man, you don't even understand. When they're together, they're hellions, and they have unlimited energy. And you just, I see why kids get in trouble when they're in school for not paying attention or messing around and stuff. Because man, these at least two, anyways, they're not programmed to sit still. So not that they're bad in school and whatnot, but every now and again we get a little email, So we just essentially take them outside and let them off the leash, if you will.
Now, you said that you get a little email. Is it because they're just rambunctious? They ever get into a fight in school? Because their dad's a UFC fighter, so they act like.
Nah, they kind of hold their own. They don't. It's not like my dad's a UFC fighter, but my oldest, some kid said that he could beat him up, and he was like, "Man, I got second in state in wrestling, man. He can't beat me up." Nice. So, of course, I wasn't happy that he almost got in a fight in school and whatnot. So, but in my down deep, I was like, that's right, man. That's right. You
my
let them know.
son.
You let them
That's
know.
my son.
Let them credentials out, and then you let them know, man. If I have to show you, I will. So,
Hey,
man,
that's your boy.
They're feisty, and they're more than capable of. They've been training for. Let's see, they've both been training for more than half their life. So, they're ready for anybody in their age group.
All right, here's one coming across for you.
Roll Tide.
My buddy Robert James Nealon, he's a huge fight fan. He attended Alabama to study journalism. He's done some internships with ESPN. He's good people. So I had to put it up. I'm not, I know you're an Alabama guy, so I don't mind putting it up. But I'm a Hurricane fan, and so it's hard for me to say anything nice about any other program. And it's the same thing for Alabama. Alabama people don't say nothing nice about nobody. It's Alabama and all them other teams.
Yeah, because we know who's playing for second.
Yeah.
We already know who the best team in the nation is.
I can't even talk shit about that, man. That's what sucks.
So,
So, we were talking about your kids and getting into fights at school. Funny story, a guy used to work for John Prisco with the XFC. His son Kyle, used to come to all the fights, used to train in jiu-jitsu and everything. So one day John gets called to school, and he goes there and he said, "Hey, Kyle's been fighting, and he beat this boy up, and he choked him out and everything." And John was mad, right? So John takes him out of school, and Kyle's like 8 years old at the time, So this is probably 11 years ago, and so Kyle's 8. They're driving home, and John's yelling at him in the car. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You can't get into fights like that in school. You know a lot more stuff than these other kids. Why did you even get into a fight with that kid?" He goes, "Well, that boy was picking on a smaller kid. He was being a bully, so I went to protect the smaller kid." And he goes, "Okay, but did you have to choke him out?" He goes, "Yeah, he gave me his back." 8 years old.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
And that's what his father said. I couldn't even say shit to the kid because he gave up his back, man.
And to be honest, let's be real. Him taking that kid's back and choking him out is a lot better for that kid than him mounting him and hitting him with some ground and pound. So, I think that he gave him the easy way out. So, let's be thankful here.
Yeah, and that kid
got your ass whooped, and you deserve to get your ass whooped. So, just be glad your lip and your nose and your eye aren't busted.
Yeah, and Kyle also played football all through middle, elementary, middle, and into high school. And I used to go watch this kid play football. He played middle linebacker, and he was the size, comparatively as a child, he was the size of what the hell was that guy, middle linebacker from played at Miami, white guy, Zack. I can't remember his name. Anyway.
Oh, Zack Taylor?
Zack Taylor. Small little white guy. But yeah, Jason Taylor married Zack's sister, or Zack married Jason's sister.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy shit. But it wasn't Zack Taylor. But anyway, what I'm talking about. Small little guy, but mean as hell, right?
He played for the Dolphins, right?
Yeah. I'll have to look it up in a minute. But Kyle was like that. So he was a small little guy, but he had the mentality of a Mike Singletary coming across the eyes, or an LT. And I actually watched him concuss 2 kids, in Pee Wee football, because he just floored them, and he just, and he didn't even think anything of it. He was like, "It's football, man." He's 10 years old.
Hey, Chris, I got to bounce here in a minute. I got another interview to do at 7.
Oh, damn! Man. Whenever I talk to you, we always lose track of time. I'm glad you said that. Well, listen, I'm going to ask one question from the crowd for you. This is my buddy Forrest Daniels. That's not him in his picture. That's George Costanza. But he wants to know, what upcoming fight are you most excited to see and why? And I'm going to add other than your own.
I'm really interested to see how Gaethje and Tony Ferguson plays out. But that May 9th card, it might be the best card ever put together, man. They got super exciting fights, a lot of guys with a lot of finishes and knockouts, high-level guys, ranked guys. And I'm pretty sure this card is all main event and co-main events that got canceled and whatnot. So at least the main card is anyways. And then, you just have awesome matchups. Jacare, Uriah Hall, Nigo Price, Vicente Luque.
3 title fights.
3 title fights. Anytime Matt Nunes steps in there, man, you already know she's trying to put somebody to sleep.
Yep.
Ngannou, Rosenstruck. Man, I think everybody's mouth's been watering for that one for a minute now.
For me, Nico Price and Vicente Luque, this is the second time they'll fight. This is going to be a burner. This might end up stealing the night as fight of the night. These guys are
anytime
foaming.
Anytime Nico Price fights, fighting the night potential.
Yep. All right, well, listen,
wild in there.
Yeah, he does. He does all kinds of crazy shit. I love the guy. He's got 5 kids, too. I don't even know how he has time to train.
But, he just had another one.
Yeah, he's a little baby boy. Oh, man, baby boy's so cute. But anyway, guys, I'd like to thank my guest, Eryk Anders, your boy, for joining us on the show. I got him. We've been trying to put this together for a couple of days. We finally got the time today. Eryk, thank you so much. As soon as you get a fight announcement, man, hit me up. We'll bring you on. We're taking this thing worldwide. We're going to grow the hell out of it. So this is going to be the destination for you guys to come, especially because all the other MMA journalists that have been shitting on you guys for trying to fight, don't give them any more interviews. Fuck them. If they didn't support the UFC and the fighters during this, they don't deserve to talk to any of you guys. And I mean that from the heart. I'm not saying it to pump myself, but I just mean that you guys deserve much more respect when you're trying to just go out there and work and they're shitting on you from behind the keyboard. Fuck them. So with that being said, all the love to you, man. Go do your next interview, man. Love to you and your family and your kids, man. And we'll talk again soon. Before you jump out, last thing I want you to tell everybody is all your social media information so they keep up with you, and then you can just go ahead and click on out.
Hey, you guys find me at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Eryk Anders, ERYKANDERS. Appreciate you for having me on, Chris.
Anytime, sir. Be well. God bless.
Take care.
All right, guys. So that was your boy, Eryk Anders. He's awesome, man. He's just a cool dude, man. I always like when I get a chance to chat with him, But like I said, the breaking rumor is scrolling on the screen right now, and I'm going to stay on for a little while longer because I'm having a good time. We're just chilling tonight, man. So the rumor, UFC 249, 250, whatever it's going to be, the number, rumored to take place in Tampa. You guys know I said the other day I think they should do all UFC fights at the WWE Performance Center. It doesn't matter what city. It's cool if it's Tampa because I live here, man, and I might be able to go over there and get some interviews because, I got some connections. But more importantly than that, I just think the venue that they should choose should be the best one for the fights themselves and for production and for keeping the public out, and that's the Performance Center. They've got all the facilities there for fighters to train on top of everything else, to do their workouts and everything. Everything they need for the fight night is there. The other venue I think of in Tampa would be the casino because the Hard Rock Casino is huge, meaning, they could bring 100 people to Tampa, fighters, coaches, UFC staff, and, selected media, boxing commission, and all that they need to have. And because that hotel is so ginormous and it's got 2 huge towers full of rooms, they can literally house everybody away from each other, give everybody their own rooms, 100 rooms, big deal. 100 rooms scattered around the hotel, not even a problem. And that way they could stay. Hang on a second. I'm getting a message real quick. Sorry, God, I can't type and. So anyway, like I said, I had to get back there. I was returning a message to a fighter. Sometimes I have to do that. But anyway, so like I said, the Performance Center is the spot to do it, in my opinion. But the casino, like I was saying, it has all the UFC would need. And it'll be a self-contained, safe haven for the fighters and everybody involved to be away from the general public because they don't need to leave to go anywhere. Come in for fight week. It's business. There's no nightlife for you guys to do. You can't go to the beach anyway. And at the casino, they have a big pool. I'm sure they would figure out a way to open the pool for the guys to use. I think they have multiple pools actually, so they would be able to get a little, little rest and relaxation, a little sun if they wanted to go just lay out by the pool, and enjoy being sequestered from the rest of the world. They won't have the same media crush, so the media obligations aren't going to be the same. There'll be some media, but it'll be minimal. So it would actually be a very relaxing fight week for most of these athletes. And like I said, I just think that would be the destination should they be doing it in Tampa. So let's see, we got some comments coming up. So is this a pay-per-view fight, 249, 250? Whichever number it ends up being, it will absolutely 100% be a pay-per-view. There's 3 title fights on that card. Let me read you the proposed card right now. Where is my copy of the card? Hang on a second. So the proposed card right now for you guys that haven't seen it yet, in the main event, Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight championship of the world. Henry Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz for the UFC bantamweight championship of the world. It's a true story. Amanda Nunes defends her belt against Felicia Spencer, who's an absolute terror and a tear, and she can go. Then you got Francis Ngannou. So 3 title fights right off the jump. Then you got Francis Ngannou versus Jaziro Rosenstruck. You have Calvin Kattar versus Jeremy Stevens. That's going to be a brawl. Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis, number 2. 2 young heavyweights to follow that, and Jorgen De Castro and Greg Hardy. Alexei Olenek versus Fabricio Verdum in his return. That's awesome. Former strawweight, the inaugural strawweight champion of the UFC, Carla Esparza versus Michelle Waterson. Uriah Hall versus Jacare Souza. Vicente Luque, which I already talked about, versus Nico Price. And Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell against Charles Boston Strong Rosa. This card is truly set up from top to bottom. It's a stellar card. So, yeah, it absolutely would have to be a pay-per-view event. And my boy Forrest says he's got Ferguson, Nunes, and Henry all winning. It's a wow, yeah, there's definitely a lineup. It's a, I don't even know who to pick right now, Forrest, to be honest with you. It is crazy. It's a hell of a fight card. The UFC is doing an excellent job putting together something phenomenal for us all to enjoy. And what a way to come back, man. You know what I'm saying? So, we just chill. But anyway, that's the show for tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had some fun. Talking to Eryk Anders is always a blast, like I said. Working on some guests for Saturday. I have prior commitments tomorrow night and Friday night. I might come in and do a late show on Friday night after I get done with my other commitment. So probably maybe 9:30. If I can put together something special for you guys, I will. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. Like I said, I always appreciate you guys supporting the show. Do me a favor and share these. When I put up a post about an upcoming episode, share it. Make sure when you get done sharing it, go to my YouTube page. This will be up. It's up on the YouTube page right now. It's streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube page. Let's make this thing get big, man. The bigger you guys help me get, I can continue to get stellar guests, and if we get enough viewers and enough subscriptions, I can get big stars, the biggest, I might even be able to get McGregor or Dana White, John Bones Jones, right now my reach just isn't big enough. My show's good enough, but I got to grow it up. So you guys, I need your help. So help me out. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for donations. I'm not saying I need a GoFundMe. But I do need a go fund my subscription page. Yeah, so go fund my YouTube subscription page. That's why I want you to go fund for me, all right? Anyway, guys, Again, thanks to my guest, Eryk, your boy Anders of the UFC, for joining us tonight. We had a good time. Always happy to see him. Shout out to Max Griffin, who tuned in, was watching the show. We were going to try to get him on tonight, too, when I saw him, but he's got some prior commitments going on, so can't do that. The state of Florida is open. I've been telling everybody for a month. Everybody else is just catching up with the news, man. You want the Florida info? You want that 401? Hit your boy up. Anyway, thanks for being part of my life today and allow me to be part of yours. I appreciate it, as always, because you guys are outstanding. So, don't forget, tomorrow morning, too, I'll probably do a little Fired Up with Chris. A little different show, but, it's still me. So, it's still me. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight, man. We've had a great time. I love you guys. And, we got to dip on out. So, be safe. Do the right thing. Help somebody out today if you can. And we're going to get through this. Until next time, I am Christopher James. Y'all have been Cage Side. Good night.